Hello, good morning, happy Thursday. I'm looking forward to another long stream today. Also, Zilby is with us, but he's down below his little stand. I brought his food down here for breakfast. Since the sky was a little bit grumbly this morning, so he was really scared, and he spent I think half of last night in the closet behind me. So that's obviously fun for him. But we're here to hang out with him now, so I'm sure he'll be fine. Esitsu, hello. How are you doing today? And Sam Rosto, hello. How are you doing? You want to ask a question? Ask away. If I can, I'll answer it, and if I can't, I'll do what I can to point you in the right direction. Animals aren't smart. As soon as there is the slightest bit of rain or gray skies, he'll be a scared dog here. Yeah, it's the rain doesn't necessarily scare Zilby, but if it gets hard enough and like the rain is pounding hard, it sounds like a roar, and I he gets really scared at that. And then of course lightning and thunder. Not the lightning. He doesn't actually care about the flashes very much. In fact, I've actually watched him watch the lightning. He seems to enjoy that, but the thunder, that's definitely too much for him. How will my new Axum course differ from the existing one? Good question. So probably the big difference is going to be the existence of assessments rather than sort of like projects. So previously what I had was the lessons. And so the lessons were like, hey, just go ahead and do this. But now the lessons are going to have like actually like tested things, right? So for example, in this garden mirror, for these two lessons to prove to yourself that you know how to do it, you're going to take the garden mirror, and garden mirror, you're going to have to like write some code. You're gonna have to write basically this middleware here. I'm writing the solution right now, and then run the tests and then see that they pass. The other big difference is that this is going to be a live course. So I'm going to have all these videos and everything else on YouTube, just like previously, but I'm going to have a live course on site of it where you can pay to actually just, I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to be. Might be 2 weeks, might be more, might be less, where we'll be meeting in a small group over like, every day. For an hour, 2 hours, with some one-on-ones as well, and that'll be that. Does that make sense? Sort of like a there'll be like 3 levels. There'll be like free version where you just watch the YouTube stuff and you like there's nothing sort of like holding anything together. Then there's the like solo, you just purchase and go through it yourself. That's the cheapest version. And then the most expensive one is the one where essentially you get access to me every day for the length of the cohort, as it were. So, and each other. You'll be part of like a sort of like a social group that's going through it too. Does that help? Of course, I got to build all these things from scratch, and I'm sort of figuring them out as I'm going along. So this first one is the slowest to build. And a free version will be on YouTube. Yeah, is the mic? Yes, give me a second. Okay, we should be better. I did not unplug the mic this morning to see whether or not it would fail, and it did. So yeah, the free version is really just watching the videos, but not having access to like the articles. So the free version won't really like. Basically, it's not that much different than like these VODs. Like it'll be a lot more work to sort of go through and sort of like figure things out, see things, with which each one you get more and more sort of framework to give you structure. And I'm focusing the first on the live course. So that's what I'm really focusing on right now. And then I'll be working on the rest of like those other 2 courses after that. Yeah. And it's not like I'll ever turn away questions or anything else. Those will always be available on Discord. Sylvie, you feeling better now? He ate almost all of his food. All right, so we are working on the, what is it called? We're working on the validation, and I believe we saw right here, this coding editor validator, and so we see the invalid stuff here. Error validating. Which is right here. And then we have the error, which is so editor type needs to be that. So what I really want to do is we have that. It should be this should now be a bad request. And then that passes. Okay, so so let's see. It responds with 400 when required part of JSON is not passed in, 400 when nothing is passed in, 200 when it passes the validation, and it mirrors back out, and the unrelated route gets that. I almost I think I'm thinking that it's also a good idea to put in the another I don't know. I'm going back and forth on having like a second middleware in here too to show off that like, hey, the middleware goes everywhere. But I'm not sure that that's really necessary for this. So let's go ahead and clean this up, and we'll call this one done, I think. Well, and let's also okay, so create middleware, validate the coding editor object. Make sure the middleware is not validating on unrelated route. And then I guess not really related to that one, but related to you. Create middleware that if validation fails, don't run route handlers and return 400 status code. deref, which would be done by auto deref on by default. So, oh, that's all I need to do is give it a reference to the body. Oh, and that's everything. Okay, so that's everything happy for you. And let's see our check. All checks passing. All right, let's update this. So break crest into pieces. I don't need that debug. We turn this into the U8. We don't need that debug. Okay, so then we convert it into asserted JSON. Then we validate this. So we don't need that. We consume the body, so we have to create a new body. And then from that, a new request. And then we run next, get the response back, and then okay, response. Okay, so that's fun. And then the other thing, I think in types we should put something in here. Okay, so that's happy. Now, do I want them to validate it itself? I think so. I think I'm going to want them to do the validation as well as the middleware itself, because that's kind of important. Mirror's just mirroring that back. That's fine. So it just gets what you get. We're good to go. We don't care about the route. Well, we care about the routes? I think we do. And we're going to have the cores route as a layer goes on here. So okay, I think that's it. You're still working. I'll check. Okay, so everything's happy there. All right, so this is assessment created. Oh, now you're down further. Hi, you okay? He's just sitting there with his eyes open, staring into the closet. So I think he's not completely sure if he wants to go hide. Okay, so assessment created. So there's that. Let's go ahead and push you up. And then we'll create the solution from this, and this will be the solution. So okay, so back onto the main branch, and time for us to clean up stuff. Okay, so we have middleware. We're gonna just remove this. We're going to cd into source. I'm thinking I'm just gonna remove the entire directory. So we're gonna remove middleware. If we do that, we have to remove you. Murder. I'm sorry. Also, good morning, stacking. I know, just doing a little bit of casual file system murder. I do remember when I was first learning systems administration, I took some classes and the instructors were telling me, okay, so we computer people have dark senses of humor apparently, and you can't really talk to other people normally because we're constantly mentioning and talking about murdering children and just killing everything, and we need to just shut everything down, and just like before they even get started up, and there's zombies around, and it's all fun. It's all fun and games until your system starts not working anymore, and then you have to kill everything. But it's okay. We're going to create some child processes and then murder them. So yeah, that's going to be fun. So let's see. What do we have here? So we have in source. Okay, so types. The types. Do I want to keep on that? No, I want to make changes to that too. So I want to remove the validate here. So I'm going to take away those. I want to keep the serialize, deserialize, partial debug, partial debug, partial equal. We're going to take away that. Kill dash 9. You don't get any process time. That actually makes sense that that's a song because it just flows really well. It's absolutely great when you get people who have skills outside of computers doing fun things about it. I love those types of songs. And art and everything else. Okay, so we have you. You're fine. Did not mean to full screen, meant to open it view. Okay, so that was types. In the library, was there anything we wanted to do there? I guess like in routes, we have mirror. This just mirrors that out. I actually think this is going to be fine to keep. So we take that in and then we return that straight out. So the mirror is there. Okay, so we do need to remove, yeah, so remove that. We're gonna use that there. Remove view. Okay, so that see happy unrelated is there. The library is fine. We don't care about you. Main is fine. We don't care about that. And then the types basically just have the types but no validation added to it. So it'll be up to the user. I'll teach the validation. Question: do I have any kind of validation type things? Yeah. So validate incoming data. I think part of this, they'll be in the article and videos as part of that is, hey, here's a way to do validation that's a lot easier than just doing it all yourself. You might want to look into that. But if somebody wants to do the validation manually using impulse, I am not like, that's fine. In the end, validation just doesn't really matter as long as it works. Okay. All right, so we are reset for taking the assessment. All right, and push that up. We're good to go there. And now you are done. Cores is next. Cores should actually be a pretty fast one. I want people to now to actually need that to be an assessment. I'm rethinking that one right now because we already have. I don't actually know if I need this to be an assessment. I might just change that. Make you that color and just show like, hey, here's just go use the tower cores middleware. It's fine. Now we're getting into the interesting ones. Database stuff. C or M. Now, this assessment, because we're doing database stuff, we could break it out into two different things, or I could make this more of a project assessment, where it's sort of like my suggestion of a project. I'm kind of thinking about doing something like that. So, everybody still hates Reddit, right? So I shouldn't use like Reddit clone. There's still a lot of drama around Twitter, so let's not do Twitter clone. We could do Games Locker. Well, like basically any like really simple CRUD API is really what we're going for, and that's pretty much what anything is. We could do blog. Games Locker might be good. Oh, bookshelf, like a library. Ooh, bookshelf, books locker, library. Library might be a good one. Oh, and if I do this, I get to handle it. So then you have to do the many to many join too. So it's all of the above in a single assessment. This would be now if I want, yeah, so I think a library would be good. Or bookstore. You can do bookstore. So let's think about how this works. We have bookstore, we have books, and we have authors of those books. However, an author authors more than one book, hopefully. But an author can also, there could be multiple authors for a single book. So this gives us the interesting sort of triangle that's going to give us the many to many, right? Because we want to do a query for give me all books created by this one user. Give me all authors created by this book. Give me all books. So this book is interesting. Give me all books written by the authors of this book that I like. So, something like that. The many to many would be, so the many to many join would probably be the get all, right? I want to get all books created by by those authors, and then I have to display them. I'm pretty sure that that's gonna work. So we'll call this bookstore API, and this will be, as far as I know, the only story-driven one we have so far. And story is really, 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 really loose here. Good. He's sleeping. Time to bring out the UML diagrams. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't think that I can do mermaid in my LMS, but that might be perfect to like bring that in for it. Or I could just do images and have that available as well. Right, let's create bookstore API. I guess this isn't really a story. There's no theme besides that it's books. But hey, this is better than like literally no theme whatsoever. Oh, let's go out of view. We're good here, so I can quit out of view. We have a new version of Rust again? No, we didn't. Okay. I thought I saw another version get announced, but I think it was the same one that got announced late in one of the other Discord channels that I'm in. All right, this one. Let's see. I guess we'll start. We need to copy over everything. All right, so oh, I want this down here. Okay, so we're checking the following skills. So this is going to be we've already been spinning up a database, and well, so like I guess creating a database, Really, it should be creating a local database. But I suppose if you want to pay for one in the cloud or you have access to one, that's perfectly valid too. So maybe not like creating local database. This is connecting. So configure. Okay, so connecting. So using C or M to connect to a database. Setting up a database with migrations. Okay, so seeding the initial data with the CRM, implementing CRUD actions. Okay, so implementing CRUD actions with CRM. We have maybe what I really want is instead of like implementing CRUD actions with CRM, I probably want retrieving rows from the just like simple queries. Maybe that simple queries. Oh, maybe I'll do this as a nested thing, so we can do CRUD create, read, update, delete, C or M. And so then this is going to be so simple queries, but then we'll also have many to many joins, or many to many join would be that. I don't know if I care about the like what specific types of updates we do or deletes. So I think that might be it for here. So maybe I probably should put the rest of these in here. So inserting data, inserting, updating, deleting. In that case, okay. We're not going to be doing auth. Okay, so clone the assessment down, get it running. Oh, and now we have Docker type stuff, potentially. So maybe this is we do need. I think we really do. Creating a local database using Docker is probably what we need to do for this one. Either, well, Actually, do we need to do that? Probably not, because I can actually do that as part of the repo, and that's not really what's being tested here. Then it's just there for you running in a Docker Compose file, and you can just run it yourself. Okay, that's good. Okay, so get this out. There'll be a solution there to pass assessment. The following needs to be done. Okay, so we have all of this fun stuff now. And now basically we can start building this up. I'm not completely sure that I'm gonna care about having. Hi, Zilby. I'm not completely sure we're gonna care about having like us doing UML diagrams. I'm not also sure I care that much about having the students do UML diagrams versus like, hey, can you actually just like implement this? So maybe I'll provide UML diagrams. I'm not sure. Because I'm going back and forth on this because I'm not sure who would be signing up to take this. Because if they're coming in and they don't have any database skills whatsoever, and they want to be able to get a job running back end, having the UML diagramming, even if you never actually like use it, just like having it to communicate with with fellow programmers is really helpful. Like to me, it's also like kind of helpful. I don't use all the correct I'm too lazy to usually to like do all the little symbols and everything else, but just like in general, roughly knowing how they work helps me plan things out. Which in that case, that means no, I won't have that be part of the assessment. I'll provide the UML diagram for this application because I don't want the learner to go off and do their own thing. I want them to follow the right. I want them to like add all the features in, but I'll need a lesson for UML diagrams. That's what I need to do. Hunter, hello. This is an app called Freeform. It's on latest Mac systems now. It's been apparently Apple made it. Like it's actually an app from them. I don't know if they purchased a company for it or if they're just rebranding it or something. But it's a whiteboard application that's now available on all Mac, like PC, all Mac computers, iPads, iPhones, all this stuff. Well, yeah, I know it's Apple only, but there's my suggestion for something similar to this. Let's see if I can find it. Where did I put it? Yeah, here's my wireframes. So Envision, Envision has a app called Freehand, and that's very, very simple. You have not once opened it, but was slightly annoyed they rearranged your phone home screen to add the icon. Yeah. So this is pretty much exactly the same. This is not dark normally. I have Dark Reader on, and so like you can't actually see there's a toolbar down here that allows me to like actually control things and do stuff. Also, I'm not logged into this one, so I can't see it. But yeah, you can do this too. So this is, if you go to envisionapp.com, Let me see. I think this will work. Yes. What's better about it than Figma? It I wouldn't necessarily compare it to Figma. It's a whiteboard app. So like Figma is a very specific like design application where you're like actually building out designs and how they look and how they feel and like clicking around and doing stuff. This is a virtual whiteboard application that you are potentially collaborating with other people around. So you can see this example here that you can have like multiple people on, sort of like Google Docs, and you can see their mouse cursors moving around. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So does that make sense? Like it's not really designed, like it's really hard to make a good actual like real design. Like we did a design here. This is about as high fidelity as you can get with it. Like it's not, you don't get really much more than this. So it's probably closer to Excel Draw than Figma. What you can do is you can use Figma to create a design and then pull that in as an image into freehand here, and then everybody can sort of like move around their cursors and put notes on it, put little stickies on there, draw and like upvote or downvote. We use this to run collaboration sessions for like design sprints, and it's worked out really well. So that's what I would say is it's used for. So I would not compare it to Figma. Yeah, it's nice. I like it a lot. Although I've been experimenting with the one built in Apple because I can use it offline mode a lot easier than Freehand, which doesn't have any offline mode. I mean, it kind of tries to do offline mode, but it's not very good. So I've been using that. Also, Freehand on like a phone really doesn't work at all, whereas this does. So that's why. Okay, so we have you. We're setting this up. Okay, so we need a database, don't we? And that's going to be not part of this, which is, this is going to be part of the instructions. So clone, check out the assessment. It looks like I wonder if I'm gonna want to have check. I probably am gonna want to have check run the thing. So in development, spin up a database. We'll probably want to do something like Docker compose up. Which means time for us to create a compose file. Now, I keep on forgetting how I can create a file. I'm not actually sure I can create a file. I think, yeah, I remember looking through this before. I don't actually see a way for me to create a file in here. I can delete a file. I think I could even copy and move. Okay, we'll do it with this. All right, bookstore API on the outside of source, we'll do a touch compose dot. Ooh, I always forget if it's YAML or if it's YAML like that. Or I don't even know if it cares. Maybe it doesn't care. I have no idea what that symbol is supposed to be. Maybe. Yeah, no matter which way I do it, it doesn't change the symbol. Oh, no action found. Okay, so on YAML files, go ahead and run this. So if I quit you, that'll drop us in here. Okay, so also time for us to remember how to create Docker Compose files. Because it's been a while. And I feel like they're constantly changing. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's just me. And I just keep on forgetting all the features of Docker Compose. Like I set this up and then I forget about it. All right, I want the file reference. Okay, I'm still shocked and sad that they removed the version requirement. Like, what's the point? That's just me. Like, how could they remove the version? Now anything parsing through this file doesn't know what the version is supposed to be. Okay, so apparently version's optional, so we're not doing that. I don't even know what the version could be because it doesn't have like the list of what they could be here. Did they change that? Basically, I can just do whatever I want with it. It's my own version. It's not helpful. All right, so services. We need top level services. In the top level services, we're gonna have the name of this. We're gonna have our database. And then we're gonna choose an image. I'm gonna use Postgres for this. Oh. Okay, so we'll just do Postgres. Do I want to lock this to a specific version? I can. Looks like recently we have 13 and 12. What's Maybe we can ask Postgres itself. $16. What's long-term support? Oh, hi, Zilby. Are you... You're loafing now? Okay, I get that. Okay, I want Postgres LTS. Oh, is everything long-term support? So version 15 is supported through 2027. Okay. We have some time. So we're going to go with 15. Ooh, I don't even see 15 as an option here. What? 12.15 was pushed 16 days ago? That'd be that one. It's only going to be supported until next year. Oh, here it is. Okay, 15. And I can do 15, which will give me all the latest .1, which I think is what I want to do. So we'll just do tag 15. So Postgres tag 15. I don't think I need a block IO service for that. I don't think I need to do a command for it. Container name will be fine. This is really all for local dev. I don't even know if I need to do an environment file for this because I can just use like keyboard cat and then just have that part of the repo. So we're gonna have environment. And then that's just, then you have what you need. Okay, the only required variable is Postgres password. We also have Postgres user, which is default Postgres. Postgres database, which would be Postgres. And I don't think I need to worry about any of those other things. And then PG data will go into its own directory there. Okay. Expose. Okay, so we need to expose some ports for this. Scott B, hello. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? Oh, I spelled keyboard cat correctly this time. I know, the entire last Axum tutorial, I spelled keyboard cat not correct, which is because then by the time I figured out that I spelled it wrong, it was already being used by a bunch of people, and I was terrified of changing it because I might break everything for everybody else. So that was fun. So I just had to mention it in every single video. Hey, it's spelled incorrectly. Yay. And I had nobody tell me they couldn't connect to the database because of password issues. It was other fun things, but nothing related to the password issues. So that's also fun. All right, so we have so expose. Is to other internal ports. I don't need to do anything else. Scott, you're mad at NeoVim and Rust Run and yourself. Well, I'm sorry about that. What are you mad at it for? Okay, ports, and I want to do this simple version, which is going to be this one. So on a post, what is it? Postgres is 5432, so we'll just do and then volumes. Okay, so you spent all day trying to get crates to function correctly to find out that Rust Run was not loading. Oh no. Oh, so you thought maybe it was like something you did, but Rust Run was not loading them for you. I haven't used Rust Run before. What does it do? Or what is it supposed to do? Since it sounds like it was giving you trouble. Think about the short syntax. So volume container path, that's all I need. So I need a volumes down here too. And then we'll this as like database data. It's an array, right? It is. Okay, so short will be volume container path. This will be, is it a string? Not a string with quotes. Database data colon. And then inside of here, we need to find out where you're going. Okay, PG data. So when mounting a volume to varlib, is a local volume. The default is varlib PostgreSQL data. So we're gonna mount it to there. Okay, so that should make you happy. I'm actually not convinced I need these quotes either. Oh, and that's the bottom of this document. Okay. It uses the Rust compiler in NeoVim to compile and execute your code, but you figured out that it doesn't load cargo. What's the point then? Like, how? That doesn't make any sense. Sylvie, it's hard to look at you when you're sitting up like that. Hey, Sylvie. Okay, so that should be fairly simple. I don't know if I need anything else to get going with this. We can run you with this command. So we're going to do a docker compose up. Oh, okay. Well, Zilby's done with us. Okay, so database is up and running. Now, connecting into this database and running stuff. Well, I can create a new one of these. We're going to do a docker compose exec. What do we call this service? Database. Database bin bash. That drops me into database here. And we can do a PSQL, except I need to do it as user Postgres. That drops me in there. There's a database. Is it use? I don't remember if it's use or not. I don't think it's use. It's I assume I'm connected to database Postgres at this point in time. There's not really anything in here. So like DT, yeah, there's no tables in here yet. But okay, that's how we can connect in. We should probably put that into the README. Okay, so instructions. Spin the Docker with command docker compose up. You want to investigate, inspect. Oh, we should double check too. Okay, so the port is working. So we have 5432 to 5432, so we can connect that with an external. So if I had PSQL set up here outside, I could connect in. Which I'm actually curious. Do I have PSQL? I do. Okay, so I can do PSQL -u Postgres. Everything else I think is normal. Oh, I have to do post. I was trying to do it in localhost, right? Oh, but it's trying to do like Postgres localhost. Ah, okay. Keyboard cat. That drops me in. Okay, great. So I do have PSQL locally. So if you want to inspect the database itself, I guess it would be like connect into the container. Oh, it was Caleb Dev who found it. Nice. But still, it sucks. Like why wouldn't they load cargo? It's like that's the entire point of using like Rust type stuff is that we can have things like cargo. Okay, can I directly and run PSQL inside of it? The command. Okay, so this is going to be docker compose exec database bin bash. And actually, I don't have to use bin bash. I can actually just go straight to PSQL -user Postgres. I think that will drop you in. So if we try this again. Okay, so let's do, we did exec database, but we're going to use PSQL now, -u Postgres, and that just drops us in there. Yeah. Yeah, it's, well, I mean, it sucks that you have to do that. Maybe there'll be an update that happens. There supposedly is a way that I can do the running of Rust stuff from inside of Helix, but I haven't really used it at all. I just end up using Zellage and running it up here in a different window so I can see the output of it. I guess like I'm not doing one-off applications. If I'm creating like a server, I want to see running output anyways. Okay, so Sylvie's long gone now. I think I saw him meow upstairs or heard him meow upstairs. So he probably was like wandered upstairs and wondered like where did everybody go? Why didn't they just follow me? They're supposed to follow me. Okay, so we connect into that. Okay, so then we have a database up and running. That's good. We need to create the data. I need to create a database, right? To start using. Oh no, we have there is already a database set up for us, so we can just use that one. So we're good to go there. So then the next thing is just to start designing and building stuff out. I guess we'll get I am definitely for this one gonna want a config object, and we're gonna need I need .env stuff anyways, so I might just switch over and use. Oh hey, Zilby, you're back. Welcome back. Oh, you're back for the food. I see. I see how it is. We need a .env anyways. I need to make sure that this is not in Git. In Git. Okay, so let's create a not a new tab, a new pane. I don't think I can actually open this up. So I have the Helix here. So what we could do is we could do database password. Oh, I needed database password. Specifically Postgres password. And then you're going to be this keyboard cat. Okay. Don't change it. Oh, but you're not even. Okay. Oh, .env. Okay, so I have this ready right now. So Postgres password equals keyboard cat, which is still spelled correctly. I'm going to immediately update this to have a .env in there. So now I can't find you anymore, but that's fine. Let's not keep that open. Okay, I'll have a .env example too, so and then you just copy it over and use that. That will be available. Let's see, what else do I want to do in here? Oh, I want to update the compose file to use an environment file. So I think this is going to be env file like that. .env. So how do I switch? It's like, oh yeah, with alt. We'll take you down, and then I'll bring you back up again. Okay, that should still be good, which means I should still be able to connect into that with you. Excellent. All right, so we have the .env example. We have our get ignore, cargo lock, cargo toml, readme. Oh, check that out. We don't want that. All right, so get commit. Okay, so we have all of you sitting here. We're happy. So this is set up. Express database with Docker Compose. Now, do we want to I don't know if I want to force anybody to like run their code in Docker yet. I think that might be another thing in the future. Or maybe not ever. It's just like, hey, if you want to, you can update the Docker Compose to run your code in there, and it makes it like there's some things that will make that easier. But I don't know if we need to care about that at all. Okay, so we had our initial commit. We created a Docker. We have our database up and running, which means we can start thinking about what this is all doing. Oh, I need a basic Axum server, so we need to start with that. Cargo add. Let's do. I don't think we need headers for this. I need Tokyo with the macros and the multi-thread. I need tracing. With tracing subscriber. We need our assessment stuff. So that's going to be part of here. Okay, now the next thing is, I probably want to do this as like multiple tests. So we could do like one test file per letters in CRUD. So like create, read, update, delete. So create the migrations to set up the database. That should just be running. It's like it should just be there. Create the seeds to set up the database. That should just be there. CM to create a row in the database. Okay, so then we have CRUD. I'm not sure. I might. Let's just do it as an assessment. All right, so this is going to be the first thing we need to test here is, can we create a row I maybe could do something to make sure that the database was set up correctly, but I'm not exactly sure what the best thing is for that. I think it's really just make sure the app works the way we expect it to. So use CRM to create a row in a database. So I want to create like a book essentially. Well, and if we're doing things with books and authors, it's going to be all of the above, right? I need to be able to create a book, an author. Ooh, I probably want to break this out by those then. We have books and we have authors. And then books, book authors. Author books, book authors. I think that's it. We should probably just create our own. Hold on, let's create a really quick. All right, bookstore API. Let's see what we can do in here. What do we have? We have symbols. These are all just like little images. It's not really helpful. We have sticky notes, shapes or lines, text, photos or movies, and then actual files. So it's not like a real URM, URD. Why did I forget the full acronyms for it? I don't know. Oh, that's like literally a sticky. I don't need that. I could do something like this, then we'll create like a box around it. So we'll have authors, not uppercase. Ooh. How do I send you behind? Like that. Okay, so we have authors. For an author, we'll have an ID. The ID is going to be the primary key. And then that will be type int, I think. That's okay to be capitalized. I'm okay with that. Okay. We'll have a name. I'm not sure I really need anything more than this. Like we just have an author and a name and ID. That's pretty much all authors have. And then this will be a varchar. We'll have books. So we'll have an ID for that. We'll have the name of the book. Because we're a store, we could also have like a price of the book. And this should also be an int, because we want the price to be in pennies. And it's one of those things where I think that a lot of people don't necessarily, like, a lot of new developers I've noticed will like try to use money stuff with floats, and that's a terrible idea. It's highly recommended that you avoid all that stuff because floating point numbers can have weird math implications. Like pretty much everything that everybody hates about numbers with JavaScript is just because everything's a float. And all the weirdness you see about like, hey, 0.2 plus 0.3 is weird is mostly due to floats. And that problem exists in all languages. Okay, so we have name, we have price. Maybe we can also have like, we'll just have in stock or something to be interesting. I don't want that to be uppercase. And that can be a boolean. Okay. And then we will have book authors. We don't need a primary. So in this case, what we're gonna have is we're gonna have an author ID. You're gonna be the primary key. You'll be an int, and then we'll have a book ID. Which you're also an int, and you're also a primary key. So together they become a primary key, which means that it's unique. You can only have one, like an author. You can't have two of the same author for the same book. Okay, so I can change you to be that style. Okay, here, from that author ID goes to this author ID there. I could say go around like that. Can I also tell you to be... I don't really have access to like the real ones, like not all of the symbols, so I'll just ignore them. All right. I can group you together. Ooh. Oh, I have to do it too. Well, that's fine. Ooh. That's not fine. those next to each other. You can stay here. And you'll go like that. It's not like perfect. This isn't a great ERD, URD, URM, but it's close enough. So we'll have authors, we'll have books, and we have book authors. It's a many to many because there can be one author has multiple books, and a book can also have multiple authors. So we would expect that we'll have many across all of these things. And so our queries will, for testing this, we'll have to make sure that we like actually test for joining all that together. And I think that hint, like, I can't remember who it was that asked to make sure that the next version taught many to many joins, but this is going to be it. Okay, so I probably want to break this out in tests for all the different things. So instead of assessment anymore, let's move assessment to be authors. We also have books and book authors. I actually don't know if I need book authors because I think in authors, I'm also going to say like, hey, give me all the authors for this book. So maybe I don't need the two of them together. Let's remove the book authors. We'll start with authors. And we can start with like just CRUD stuff, right? So we can create an author. Or I guess what we can do is we can stub these out, I suppose. So async function create an author. Ooh, I need error. What? No. Yank. Okay, so we want to be able to create an author. Then we want to, oh, you know what? I can bail on these, right? So bail stub. Why are you upset? Oh, expected the name for the name for the function. Yeah, I suppose it could be upset about that. All right, so we want to be able to create an author. I want to be able to get one author. Okay, so get one author with all, so just get one author on their own. So just get one author. I want to get one author with their books. I want to get one author. Then I want to get all authors. With their books. Okay, so we create an author, we get one author, we get one author with their books, we get authors, we get all authors with their books. So that's CR update. So we update an author. We probably want to, so like the other way to update an author would be to add an author to a book. Associate an author with a book. So that's basically two types of updates, right? Then I want to delete. So delete an author. Okay, and then that should be it. I want to delete an author. Oh, these are okay. I forgot the macro. Oh, that first one had a macro on it. The other ones don't. Right. Totally understand that these are yelling at me because I guess I could fix that. So just do that. Then you're happy. Okay, we have a bunch of stub tests now for this. It's gonna be a lot. But they hopefully should all be fairly simple and short, right? So this is all getting this one stuff. Now I want to get all authors with their books. That's the many to many, right? Because I want to get give me every author, give me every book for that author, and combine them together. So that's our many to many right there. And then we also want books. So then it's thinking me the same thing. So CRUD stuff. So we want to create book. Okay, so after we create a book, we want to read. So get one book. So we just want the information on the book, but when you're getting information on a book, I guess we'll just leave it as like, hey, we're just getting that one thing. That's fine. But I want to get one book with the author probably too. Get one book with author. Authors, because there could be multiple. And this will be get all books. So I'm thinking about this a little bit more. If I had some kind of GUI, I have a list of books. I would not care. I potentially don't care about the authors or the books. I'm not sure. If I was grabbing, so if I'm navigating through this application, I've connected in, I see a list of books. And I see the authors listed down below those books. So I don't even know if I need to care about getting all authors without the books. Like if we start off, we'll just say, okay, we'll probably have like a thing where I want to list all the authors, I want to list all the books. If I'm listing the authors, I don't need the books. I just have the list of the authors. So if I get one author, it's also going to get their books here. I don't need to get all authors with their books because that doesn't really make sense. I don't need to get all of them together. So I have a list of authors and that's it. And then I click on the author, that takes me to a profile page. In the profile page, I show all the books for that one author. So I have get one author with their book, get all authors on their own. If I'm updating this, I can create an author on their own. I can. So some authors may not have books published yet. They're like hopeful authors, maybe. Let's see, we get all. Okay, we update, so we can update the author like name. We can associate with the author with a book. We can delete an author, and we probably want a deassociate an author with a book. And then and then delete the author. Okay, so that would be good. Authors can't be deassociated, can they? Like we'll just say we never make a mistake. We'll be fine. We already have delete somewhere else. I think that'll be fine. It's still just a delete of just one table or another. So there's that. Now books, I have a list of the books and I want the authors down there with that list. So I can create a book. That's great. I want to, let's also add in, I want to associate book with author. For reading them out, I have the full list of all the books, and that's going to be with the authors, right? So we want to get all books with their authors. I click on a book, and it gets one book with its authors. I can update a book. And then I can delete a book. Okay. And then there's our many-to-many join select. We have a one-to-many join select, and we have a many-to-many join select. So I think this will work out for us. So now if I run these tests, everything should fail. all of them failed. 6 failed. Error stub test. So now we can start running them. Is there a way to skip tests? That would be better if I could skip them or ignore them. The fact that there is an ignored section here makes me think that I definitely can. It's probably something like test ignore or let's go find out. Ooh, okay, so we could use this ignore not yet implemented. Okay, so, and then is there, yeah, there should panic, which I don't care about. So we'll do this. We have ignore and then equals then the message. So I mean, this might be better just to be to do. Okay, so now if I run the test, everything's ignored. Okay, that's great. Now if I run you, yeah, everything's happy and passing. Because that's the exit code is 0. Is there a way for me to tell cargo test to fail unignored? I bet there is. It's like that's all that. Oh, can I do Oh, there's nothing here. I wonder if there's a way. I bet I could just do the shell scripting thing. So here's our cargo test. So if cargo test, I run my output. I want no more ignores. Well, I guess this is just up to me. It's just up to me. So I'll just have to be very careful about that, and not accidentally deploy this with a bunch of ignores. I don't have to write some special thing otherwise to sort of check that. So we'll just go ahead and start building out then. The order is always interesting here. Okay, so we have you. Let's go to authors. Okay, so create an author. What do I want to do for this? I guess we'll start by not ignoring you. For creating an author, I want to have a post to authors. It takes in an author. So I need a type for an author, which we know what that is. And then I want to be able to connect to the database and make sure that it actually got created in there. So there's a bunch of like sort of helper code for us to run too. So I need to create a brand new author, which I think we can do test types in here, can't we? We need derives. We need Serde. Okay, so based upon our plan, when we're creating an author, all we need is a name. and that's all we care about. Ashui, hello. What are some things I don't like about Rust? I think the biggest thing that I don't like about Rust is the ability to discover. So discoverability for features. This is something that they were attempting to do with some documentation, like basically new stuff and documentation in language, but the end result is that if you don't know that you can do something, discovering that you can do it is really hard. And you kind of almost like need somebody else to be there to tell you that you can do that. Most crates, like Axum, for example, doesn't have good documentation to like tell you, oh yeah, you could just totally do this. You could totally do that. I would say like that's my, and I think that's a side effect of creating like a strong documentation, like technical documentation into the language, encouraged a bunch of crates to not use other types of documentation, which sucks. So that's probably like my biggest thing that I don't like about Rust. It's getting better. Like they're more and more crates are starting to realize that they need like external documentation as well as their technical documentation, and that's helping out a lot. Other things, there's like language wise, I don't know. I'm decently happy with almost everything. Some of the async stuff is a little bit weird. Um, there's some things that like I feel should be in standard library, like like random numbers, like that feels like it should be something I can like just pull in and not have to rely upon a third party crate. Or even if it wasn't like third party, if it was first party, that would, it just feels safer to do something like that. I would like that a little bit more. You hope ChatGPT fixes this. The Play framework and Scala ecosystem is not well documented. In your opinion, ChatGPT helped you make some sense. So that's really good. The problem with ChatGPT is that if it relies upon content being created by people in order to like I almost think of it like a search engine, right? If nobody has written good documentation, and I'm not talking about like, now I'm talking about like third party documentation, like blog posts, articles, text, things like that, then ChatGPT wouldn't have a hope of like actually creating something to help out with it. We need somebody that's a human needs to create some kind of tutorial or something that then ChatGPT can read and parse through. So the community basically needs to step up to help out everything else. And I'm like that's part of what I'm doing. At least Rust devs try to make docs and kind of frowned on libraries that don't write docs. That's true. Like for my stuff, I haven't really written very many docs for my stuff, but also my stuff I was not really expected anybody else to work with. Like my courses are, I guess, kind of docs, but those are going to be well documented. Once a month, you have to work on an iOS app, and even Apple has docs that say we will write docs for this later, and the function is 5 years old. That is the worst when you just say like, to do docs, fill this out, and you're like, huh? Yeah, you're never getting to this, are you? Yeah, I haven't done too much in the Apple ecosystem when it comes to programming. I do remember doing a lot of sysadmin stuff, and my go-to to learn that kind of stuff was to literally call up people at Apple and just say like, how do I do this? And then they would say like, oh yeah, you just do this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm unblocked now. So all fun stuff. But does that answer your question, Anshui? Anshul? Is that an I or an L? I can't tell because it's right next to the XYZ that's capitalized. So I can't tell with my font if that's a capital I or an L or a lowercase L. I probably want to bring in rand and do this as a random string, don't I? I do. So that way I'm not creating like the same name over and over and over again. Unshul. Okay. Unshul. I will attempt to remember that. Can I create a note? Will you let me create a note? Sylvia, it's okay. It's okay. There was some loud thunder. Didn't get picked up on the mic, but that's why he's got a little bit scared and freaked out. They don't have the ability to create a note. Okay. I will do my best, but just remind me every single time if I get it wrong. Let's do. I guess we'll just do rand. Is there a good fuzz crate that has like random strings that I can use, or that creates good random strings? Otherwise, I'll just use rand again, and it'll be fine. But having something that's like actual name would be nice. I know, Zilby, nothing is going to come through the window, okay? I promise. Zilby. It's okay. You like these floating panes in Zellage? Yeah, they're really nice, aren't they? I don't think the Tmux can do that. They have a strong plugin ecosystem though, so I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's made a plugin for it, but I never really tested. Okay, so we'll just grab in rand. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Sylvie jumped to go into the closet behind me. What is it? It's like thread RNG. Sylvie, it's okay. I know. I'm here. You can hide behind me. Let's try this again. So we're gonna be rand. Oh, okay, there it is. Thread RNG. Just need to restart. Start that. Oh, you need to be mutable. Okay, so once we have that, then I want to create alphanumeric. So let name equals RNG. So I think I could use gen. It's a. Can I do a gen string and then that type, right? Yeah. Alphanumeric sample. Okay, yeah. So gen. There's like two things in here, right? So we didn't want. I wonder if it can do a string or if it has to be like a vec of chars or something like that. And then alphanumeric. How do I tell it that? I want alphanumeric. Okay, so chars is string. So there's some RNG sample. Oh, it's RNG sample. Alphanumeric as char. Random chars. Oh, let's string alphanumeric sample string. Oh. Okay, so that's so much easier. I keep on forgetting that it's I don't have to use RNG. But, so this is gonna be alphanumeric sample. I already alphanumeric. So just use that dot sample string. I can't. Oh, there it shows up. Okay, after a little bit of time. Prab, is that Vim or Helix? This is Helix that I'm running. Okay, so then I give a mutable reference to RNG, and then the length, the size of this. So let's do, I don't know, an author's name is, let's just say like, I don't know, 8. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I give that, then we'll do self name. It's not really like an actual random name, but close enough. Oh, you didn't pull this in. Yeah, import you. Okay, so that gives me a new author. I want to post this into. I want to post this into the server. So we need URL. You didn't hear that, right? My phone. I have my phone here in case work needs to contact me. And I got some Outlook notifications, and it did that good old Outlook email sound. And if it did, I'm sorry I confused you in case you were checking your work email. Beautiful. All right, so we do that. Then I want to create the URL. So we can create like a config, like test config or something, because that's going to be shared across both of these with a base URL. I don't know if it matters that much. We can just create this in here. Okay, so we'll do that. We will post this. Let's do response. Oh, we need a client. If I need a client, I need a request. With the ability to do JSON stuff, yes. I don't need any headers. We're not doing any authentication stuff, so we could just throw in the JSON, and that's going to be a reference to the new author. Then we can go ahead and send you off to await and question mark you. We expect that the status for this is going to be 201. All right, this is going to be our first real test here, and you should fail for a lot of different reasons. TCP connector. So I think we added Axum in already. We added Tokyo. So I guess we start going. Let's head into main. Okay, so we'll get you going. We need not full screen. Okay, so we need to go into source now. We need to touch our live.rs. I need a router. We probably want a config. That's probably going to be good enough for right now. Okay, so thinking about in reverse for this. I need the config because we're going to be passing that into the router where we're creating state and doing other fun stuff. Oh, I probably want state somewhere too, like an app state. So let's do touch. Let's do that too. All right, so with live, we can then pull out a thing. Okay, so I think config is going to be first. I don't think I care about fully serializing or deserializing this. We might as well throw everything in here. So let's do, we'll have the address. Which is an array of U8 and it's 4. You have a port, which is a U16, I want to say. think that's gonna be what we start with it. Okay, so we get you. I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna create you in main. Then we're gonna pass this into run in library. Why can't you find that? Oh, I know why you can't find that. Because it put the friggin' mod in main. I want the mod in here. So. Whoa. Okay. That makes you happier. There we go. All right, now you're happy. So we have this config. I guess we can set up tracing next. Oh, and I forgot I could mark that as complete. Okay, so tracing. Going to init you, and then we'll do a tracing. It's not really a tracing debug. It's probably an info, where server running on port. Okay, that's happy there, but we need to run this. I'm always surprised that it doesn't know what to do with this. Well, I don't think I can use tracing because like everything's done now. So this is going to be just print line. So server shut down. Server crashed with error. Okay, so you're happy there. Server shut down because nothing's really running yet. Next up, I need a basic router. Do you need to be asynchronous? I don't remember if it needs to be asynchronous or not. I think this doesn't need to be asynchronous. Function. It doesn't need to be public though. I'll eventually take in the config, but let's not worry about that right now. Maybe I'll take in state too. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so we'll just create a very basic router. You're not used. Don't worry, we'll use you right now. Why didn't... Are you creating in main? This is creating... It's doing it in the wrong place. Okay, that gives me a router. I want to... I need to create the address next. So... It's the socket address. Ooh, is it new or is it... Ah, I forgot. Oh, it's from. It's from. From, and then that's going to be config.address. Oh, but this is a tuple. Config.port, that gives us that. Then I want to run the thing. It's not served. It's not router. Is there a reason the config uses an array instead of an IP address? Not really, besides that's what's in the documentation for Axum. So here, let me show you. If we had, I don't have it open right now. So it creates Axum. Down here we can see this is creating socket address from. That's I'm just duplicating this. Oh, it's server bind. That's what it is. Server bind. Server. I thought it was like server serve bind. We give it a reference to the address. Then it's serve, and then we give it the router. That's what it is. Then it's serve. It's a router into make service. And then we await and question mark that. Okay. I don't think I have to do anything with that. And then we're pretty much done. So now our server is running. Everything's happy here. You need to be up here. That way we get this info showing up. Let's see. Okay, server address. Oh, we're getting all of you going. You're all happy. And then we're eventually gonna create like the config is gonna eventually have like the database, like username, password, and URL and all that fun stuff too. So we're sort of like looking forward to the future with this. Okay, so we have that. Now we should get a 404 error, right? Yeah, so now we're getting a 404 error. So I want to, inside of router, we want routes for user. And then we'll create them in there. So let's touch router author. Now I'll probably want like subrouters to like sort of combine these together for routes and that kind of stuff eventually. So Axum running post, and then you will be create author. Like that. Okay. So now I get a 200, but I want a 201. So now we get to start doing fun stuff. So if I want to make this pass, I want to return a result with a status code. I'll probably want more than just a status code. We might do like 2 status codes here. So we'll do okay. Ah, wrong status code. I want that status code. And this is created. Okay, tests are passing. We're good, right? Like we're totally creating this. Yeah, we can all agree that. I don't need to update the test in any other way. Where was this? It was this one. Okay, so we're getting to 201 expected status. Okay, that's great. But after we do this, I also want to receive back a JSON with the author object, which is going to include an ID. So I really need the types here. So this is going to be the expected create author object. I want a ID, which is going to be I want to say it's an I64 is what CRM was giving it. But I don't remember. We're going to find out. Okay, so you're going to be an I64, and I want the pub name to be a string. Now I can't really partial equal this, can I? We'll have to. I'll just have to like double check the name is actually the name. But okay, this is what we expect to be getting back. So that I don't like expected. That's like what it's supposed to be. It's maybe like the created authors. So like create author response. So created author is going to be response. We want to grab that out, and it's going to be a create author response. Okay, so what are you upset about? Cannot find. Import you, please. Now we'll get an error because it's error parsing because I'm not actually sending anything back. So now we need actual like database stuff set up for us, which is probably going to happen tomorrow because it's 8:41 already, and I don't think I can do an entire database setup with CRM in 4 minutes. But it's going to be fun. So let's I guess start winding down a little bit. All right, so what do we have here? We have we created subtests and starting to create create author route feature feature. All right, you oh, I don't even have this. Is okay, we need it. GitHub repo create. Yeah, push that. Local, I'll do Axum assessment, push API, that's fine. And go to Brooks builds. Okay, so this is assess your ability to assess your ability to update to use to connect to and use C or M and Postgres. Okay, and those are all up there, so that way I can't lose everything. And that being said, I think I'm good to go now. So You're all happy? All right, then with that, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. So, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. While we finished one assessment and we starting to work on the biggest one yet, which is going to be like essentially it's a full app as this assessment. So it'll be fun. I'll be back tomorrow morning at around 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and we'll do for the same amount of time until around 8:45 or so. So with that, have a great rest of your Thursday, and see you tomorrow. Bye.